Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Akiyam. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash. I would also like to give a double honors to the beloved elders and apostles of Great Millstone, where I learned this 144% truth. I would also like to say peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, starting with the 144,000 men of Israel, which consists of the servants, the prophets, whom have been ordained since the foundations of this earth to sing this new song, which comes in the form of this gospel, which will be preached throughout all four corners of this earth and rest upon the ears of the innumerable multitude, men, women, and children of Israel, who may be scattered throughout all four corners of this earth. Shalom. Hey, shalom, beloved Akiyam and Akwab. It's just Bayan back again through the spirit, power, mercy, and grace of our power, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And I just want to touch into a brief live stream, share a video with you, beloved Akiyam and Akwab. Pretty much talking to what's going on over there in Venezuela with the Trump administration or what have you. And I mean, ultimately, you already know, man, like, as they say in the world, hey, all wars are bankers' wars. You know, at the end of the day, we clearly know, understand, and comprehend, all right, that what's going on over there in Venezuela, they're a leader behind it, okay? And ultimately, you know, word on the street is that it's for the resource over there, that oil, that crude oil, which that's no surprise, okay? Because every conflict that America's found themselves in line with always lined up with some type of resource or land grab being the main reason, okay, versus the narrative that they dress up and the boogeyman that they create. You see, so all we're seeing is the same play coming out of Esau, same playbook. But the beautiful thing about it is that this dude's at the end of his road, okay, and we can see, and we're gonna show you with this clip I got. You know, the people are no longer in this confused state where they're just like settling for what the elite's puppet in the form of the president's talking about. You know, no, now they're starting to make mention like, look, you know, wait a minute. You know, here it is. These people are not a threat. You know, but we're being told that it's justified to, you know, bomb these fishermen and take individuals out that are supposedly bringing all types of drugs into the country. Listen, man. Even if they were bringing drugs into the country, the judgment for that isn't death. Okay, they're not supposed to be being executed. All right, so Evil E's going off in that area. And again, he has his own maritime laws that he's violating. You know, this dude's doing all manners of wickedness. All right, but he's being called out for it. Is the beautiful thing about it. He's being called out for the wickedness that he's doing. You see? And the Lord's doing what he said he would do. As far as their own tongue falling upon themselves, man, this is happening, bro. Their own tongue is falling upon them, man. This is dude, what's his name? Daniel Davis. I believe he's a lieutenant. He was, at least. He's going to bring us some information regarding how he feels towards Babylon's stance towards what's going on over there in Venezuela and how this is not going to end well for this regime. Okay, and we know this. Okay, because at the end of the day, we know that this is pretty much Esau's last hoorah. All right, it's game over after this. You see? And when it does come to a final close, everyone's going to rejoice, man. It's going to be a rejoicing moment, all right, when Evil E finally gets his ass sat down. Okay, matter of fact, let me go ahead real quick through the spirit. Let me go to the book of Isaiah real quick. Let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 14. And I'm going to go straight to the point. I'm going to go straight to the point. There's the book of Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 4, and it reads 144, Kala Yahabashim Yashai. And it reads that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how have the oppressor ceased? The golden city cease. You see, so this is the fate. This is the future of Babylon, bro, this is talking about America. All right, the daughter of Babylon. All right, it's going to come to a point where it's going to cease, this golden city, right? This place was once the golden cup in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai's hand. Now he's doing away with you. All right, this is why everything's backfiring against you. You see? Look it. The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked. See? Right? The Lord hath broken the staff, okay, of the wicked. And we know the wicked to be Esau, Edom, and self-proclaimed white men, pursuing the Malachi, the first chapter. And the scepter of the rulers. Okay, so we're in the time where Esau is being stripped from the power seat. All right? And we can see this manifesting through his poor judgment. All right? Through his criticism, his criticism he's receiving. Okay? But on the world stage. You see this man, he's losing it. He ain't got it no more. Look. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth, man. Okay, so there's going to come a time where this dude, all right, who has been abusing everything underneath him, okay, and destroying everything in his path, is going to be found in a position where he's going to be persecuted. Persecution's coming to evil E. Okay? Persecution's coming to this man. All right? And none's going to hinder it. No one's going to care. No one's going to help you. No one's going to lend a hand to you, man. Okay? When mercy rejoices with judgment, you're not going to receive no mercy. Okay? Because what we're about to show you, and he's done this throughout the whole, throughout his whole reign of terror. Esau's been doing this, man. All right? Since the Greeks. Hence why when you read First Maccabees, the first chapter, it tells you that evil is increased on the earth. All right, upon the establishing of the Edomite regime, or the Edomite hegemony, or what have you. Evil is increased on the earth, man. That's not a coincidence, man. All right, that's not a coincidence. Let's go get this video real quick. This nigga's gonna be stopped. He's in his these are his last moments of wreaking havoc on the planet. All right? And this is why scripture says, let me get one more, as a matter of fact. This is the book of, this just came to me. Let's get this in Micah real quick. Micah 2 and 1, and it reads, woe to them that devise iniquity, man. All right, all this dude does is devise iniquity, man. Okay? Scripture says, destruction unto you, man, that devise iniquity. Right? You in your think tanks planning and plotting on how you can take over the world like Pinky and the Brain, bro, and destroy anybody and anything in your path. All right, bring forth these industrial revolutions that did nothing but hurt the ecosystem, cause animals to go extinct, all right, and pollute the earth and cause all manners of disease and pestilences, man. Okay, look, and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands. And again, it all goes back to the elite. All right, at the end of the day, again, all wars are bankers' wars. All right, these various countries and the prime ministers and the presidents within them, they're all puppets of the elite. You see? And what we're witnessing right now with America coming at Venezuela, all right, and then they plan on coming after Cuba and Colombia, we're also witnessing Esau pursuing his brother with the sword. You see? A combination of a few things are happening with all this, man. Yeah, because we're in that time. You know, we're in that time where, yeah, Jay, persecution is here. Okay, you niggas ain't getting away. You know, you niggas thought you got a country. Nah, man, you ain't got shit. Okay? Esau's on your ass now. So it's a combination of things happening, you know, with one scenario taking place. You see? But needless to say, at the end of the day, all right, Esau's gonna be stopped. That's the moral of the point. Right? Let me get a little bit more. And they covet fields and take them by violence, bro. And houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage, bro. Okay, and Esau's been given this power to do this. Remember, Job 9:24, the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked. You see? He's been given this power by our power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right? He's not some type of special creation, you see? That's superior to everything, to every other nation. No, man, he's actually inferior. Esau's the third part of man. Okay, when you go into the nuts and bolts of this nation. Okay, Esau's coined the third part of man, the son of perdition. Okay, the wild man, as they used to call him. All right, the nation that has a history going back to the caves, going back to being cavemen. All right, but check it out. The Lord raised this fool up. All right, and the Lord's about to take him out. And we're seeing it build up, because check this out. Here it is. He's coming up against Venezuela, bro. Come on, man. They will still smoke them, man. You see? Now, granted, Venezuela got Russia as an ally. But needless to say, the point I'm making is that America looks like a bully coming after Venezuela, man. You see? They look like a big bully. You see? Yeah, Ak, the base man. That's right. What's it tell us in Job 30? In Shalom, Ak, my brother Yahweh Sab. And Shalom to all you beloved Ak Yamanakwath on the comment board. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Barakatam. To you and your family, man. Hey, yeah, man. What's it tell us in Job 30? Right? They were violent in the earth. Okay? Esau's violent in the earth, bro. The Edomites. And it's beautiful because they're at the end of their road. All right? And again, we see it with this little reach they're doing right now with Venezuela. But the world's looking at them as bullies, bro. You know? They're not looking like any type of superpower coming after Venezuela, bro. You know? And here it is. The old boy was trying to come through with all types of, bargaining. Like, what's the word I'm looking for? Pretty much trying to, reason with him, you know? But still allow him to be in a position where he can control his military and certain things. Trump's not having it. He wants them out of the way. Because at the end of the day, they want those resources to live in. You see? It's a deeper, darker narrative. But again, the elite are behind it. At the end of the day. But needless to say, let's get this clip real quick. Let's get this clip real quick. Bear with me. Now, this source is from Redacted. Hey, this is fair use. So I'm not making any monetary gain off of this clip. All right, this is for educational purposes only. All right, fair use. Now, there's a certain part I want to get. Let me see if I can get this timeline right. Bear with me. Esau's not letting me play the video. Bear with me for 1 second. And it begins, right? Here we go. Let's try this one. Here we go.
Bomber overflights, practice runs, etc. So it seems to be building and ramping up. And
bear with me. Let me get to the time mark here.
Lock in your 60% off before the sale disappears. Don't wait till the weather gets really bad. Grab a bearskin while this Cyber Monday Black Friday deal is still matters. Grab your bearskin. And you'll
Come on, man.
This video has now kind of gone viral over the past 24 hours, where president saying, during my first term, this shouldn't have happened. We're now buying oil from a narco-terrorist, a dictator. And if I were president, and what we were trying to do was, basically have regime change where we would get this oil for free. And so it seems like that's the plan. As someone in our chat room just said, the plan is liberate the oil. Liberate the oil. And Representative Maria Salazar this morning on Fox and Friends basically let the cat out of the bag, confirming, plan is all for oil. Watch.
This is not going to be hard. 80% of the Venezuelans voted for the opposition. You have 8 million Venezuelans in exile. We're talking about the largest reserves of oil in the world that will be doing business with the American oil companies. And that is something that I have made very sure that they understand. American companies in Venezuela for the next 100 years. All right, well, you heard it.
Yeah, you heard it here.
Satan's working.
She says
You already know how it
here,
goes.
like that's what's going to
Bear
happen.
with
It's
me.
imminent. This is coming. This is about to
Okay,
happen. A
here.
United States member of Congress letting the cat out of the
Bear
bag.
with me.
This
Let's
is
fix
all
this.
about oil, just like it was about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq.
I got
Now
you
it's
after you have
about
a knock
narco
on.
boats in Venezuela. It's not about a United States member of Congress letting the cat out of the bag. That this is all about oil, just like it was about weapons of mass destruction.
Let's listen to old girl again.
And Representative Maria Salazar this morning on Fox and Friends basically let the cat out of the bag, confirming this, plan is all for oil. Watch.
This is not going to be hard. 80% of the Venezuelans voted for the opposition. You have 8 million Venezuelans in exile. We're talking about the largest reserves of oil in the world that will be doing business with the American oil companies. And that is something that I have made very sure that they understand. American companies in Venezuela for the next 100 years. All right,
So that's
well, you
the
heard
plan. Yeah, you heard it here. She says you heard it right here. Like that's what's going to happen. It's imminent. This is coming. This is about to happen. A United States member of Congress letting the cat out of the bag. That this is all about oil, just like it was about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Now it's about narco boats in Venezuela. It's not about that. It's about the oil in both counts, right?
Where is the justification for that? And I'm frankly sick and tired of hearing all this statement about, Maduro was not legally elected. Well, okay, maybe they are, maybe they wasn't. What does that matter to you? What does it matter to us? We don't have the authority. No one said, okay, America, you get to patrol the world. And if somebody doesn't get elected according to your standards, you can kill them. You can drive them out. There is no such authority. Of course, that's something for the Venezuelan people to figure out. If 80% of them genuinely voted for the opposition and Maduro kept power, that's something they have to solve inside their borders within their country. It is not ours to do. And to insert ourselves into this anyway means that there is no rule of law, Clayton. There's no rule of law if we take this, because then it's just power politics and power dissemination that we do whatever the hell we want to do, and you either get out of the way or you get killed. I'm sorry to be that firm about it, but that's what it will be if we take this action. There is no legal or moral justification for this.
Wait, so in 2020, when we had the problems we had in our election, Dominion voting machines and all of that, Venezuela should have been involved in our elections, right? I mean, they should have been.
If only they had thought about that in time. You're right. They really solved that problem.
And when they installed Kamala Harris.
Right. I mean, where was Venezuela? They have a right to be meddling in our elections. What? This is not what the American people signed up for. I mean, militarily, though, Colonel, what do you think as the Pentagon is ramping up, they're planning all of this from a land invasion perspective? I mean, we've heard what a disaster that's going to be. And we're hearing reports on the Venezuelan side. What they're preparing for is a guerrilla style scattering across the country approach to try and thwart our invasion here. What do you make of that strategy? What are you hearing on that side of things? And how disastrous would it be?
If they have paid any attention at all to Afghanistan over our disastrous 20 years, they'll see that we came in there and after just a few months literally destroyed and annihilated the Taliban government and military, destroyed them utterly. But we didn't kill every individual because they did. They scattered throughout the mountains and stuff. And so over time, they were able to get together in these bands, and then they started this guerrilla warfare, which, of course, they had done with the Mujahideen under the Soviet Union, et cetera, which we helped provide for. And if these guys are paying any attention at all, and if anybody has looked at the terrain inside Venezuela, it is absolutely premium territory to conduct that kind of an operation. And you were just begging yourself to get into another insurgency that you can't win. And for the same reasons that we couldn't win the one in Afghanistan. And we've got such a small amount of troops in the meantime. Let me touch on this for a second. There's a lot of firepower, a lot of jets with the Gerald R. Ford and several missile carriers, destroyers. You can blow up a lot of stuff. You can kill a lot of people, but there's a really small, I think less than 10,000 total troops, and I think a lot fewer of that of Marines that can actually do anything on the ground. You can seize a location and, you know, maybe you can do a snatch and grab or something like that if you find Maduro, and I can't imagine he would be lightly defended. But you can't invade anything. All you can do is blow a bunch of stuff up. And then what are you going to do, Clayton? What are you going to do if Maduro doesn't get killed or he doesn't give up and he stays hidden somewhere and he goes into the mountains to God knows where and runs this? Now what are you going to do? You put the credibility and the United States on the line. You've killed a lot of people already, and there is no achievable military objective. This could go wrong so many ways, and I hope somebody at the highest levels of our government are telling President Trump this has almost no chance to work out to our advantage, and 100 different ways it could go bad.
Well, you got these neocons surrounding him. You got the likes of Senator Lindsey Graham, who plays golf with President Trump, telling him it's going to be a cakewalk. You warmongers that are surrounding the president, and then you have you have officials that came out this morning saying it's not going to stop with Venezuela. It will stop. We'll go to Colombia and Cuba next. So, what the hell are we doing?
I mean, when I heard that about Colombia, I was just almost sick because, listen, this is not Panama. Like somebody said, well, this will be like Panama or with Noriega, et cetera, from the Bush and the Reagan administration. No, it's not. This is not Panama. And now you're talking about expanding into Colombia? I mean, what the hell is wrong with these people? Have they not paid any attention to what has happened with these guerrilla wars, especially in Colombia, and how that's fought? They have experience of doing that. Now, you want to turn those against Americans? You want to put 50, 60, 100,000 American troops to try and do another no-win situation? And why do you want to add Cuba into that? Why is that even the conversation? I've been to Cuba, and I went on a religious trip once to try to help the people, and they are so poor. They represent a threat to no one. Why do we even talk about that? That's part, whether it's neocon or somebody else, Clayton, this is part of a sickness that I think has to be purged, or they're going to take us all into a place that's going to be killing a lot of people who wore a uniform like I did, and that just angers me and grieves me.
Well, I mean, forget the Cubans for a second. The Venezuelans pose no threat to us. This whole argument, this total bullshit argument that they're, narco terrorists are coming to the United States. Give me a break. That's, as Senator Rand Paul pointed out, that's a total lie, and they're using it as a justification to push us to manufacture consent for war. So none of these people,
paper thin.
I mean, how many Americans watching right now wake up in the morning like, man, the Venezuelans are coming? No.
Yeah. Or how many family members of our service members wake up and go, golly, if my service member, my husband, if my father, if my son has to sacrifice his life to die in some mountain in Venezuela, that's good because, wait, there's no because. No, not one of them is going to be. They would be anguish beyond compare if you're going to send them in there to die for nothing, much less the Venezuelans. I think you said you're going to talk to somebody there. I'll be real eager to watch that. Why should one Venezuelan die? Because I don't know, have this obsession with getting Maduro out or so. It's immoral, flat out.
100%. And then we're going to talk about the legal implications of this in a moment with Daniel McAdams from the Ron Paul Institute to dive more deeply into that on the legal side of things. Because, again, the legal justification now is, they've attacked the United States. Really? Where have they attacked the United States? Hey, seal our border and yes, get rid of illegal immigrants in the United States. Absolutely. They're criminals in the United States. But I will admit, and I think some of the propaganda did work a little bit. Certainly it worked on me a little bit. But I woke up and I now see the lies they were spinning here on this whole thing, which was Tren de Aragua is right around the corner from you. It's the greatest threat. No one ever heard of Tren de Aragua before. Now suddenly it's the largest. No. What about the Mexican drug cartels? What about Right, but no, it's Tren de Aragua is the greatest threat to the United States. Ah, I see what they did. We're not stupid. Colonel Davis,
You see,
always great
so
to see you.
Esau's playbook, okay? Esau's playbook has been figured out. All right, he's running the same playbook is what he's doing. That's all he's doing. All right? And at the end of the day, what's beautiful is about this whole situation, this nigga's running out of gas, man. All right? The nigga's running out of gas. All right? His plan is to go up in Venezuela to get that crude oil, man. All right? And everybody knows it. And you see that rap old girl running her mouth. All right? Talking about 100 years. Yeah, all right. That's what you think. See, what this is, all this is a building block to the end of Esau, what we're witnessing. All right? Because when you go into prophecy, that's why prophecy is beautiful. Because it tells the story. All right? We know, all right, since America's inception, all right? America's inception was the beginning of the countdown, okay? Of these heathen ruling. Because when you go into prophecy, let's go to let me see, Daniel. Let's go to Daniel, the 2nd chapter. Going into the vision of Nebuchadnezzar that Daniel was able to interpret. All right, so let me turn this volume down here. All right, so when you go to Daniel, the 2nd chapter, let me see here. I believe it's right around the, because it's mentioned twice. I want this right here. The book of Daniel, chapter 2, and verse 31, and it reads, Thou, O king, sawest and behold a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. And we know these images, these great images, right, of these 4 beasts, right, which Jake would be subjugated, held captive, and oppressed in, okay, from the Assyrian Babylonian, right, the Medo-Persians, the Greeks, and the Romans, leading up to this revival of the Western Roman Empire, which is 7 empires. But when you go through the statue, we'll make it make sense. Check this out. His image's head was of fine gold, right? Which is Babylon, right? Or you can liken it to Assyrian Babylon, right? His breasts and his arms of silver, right? Which is the Medo-Persians. His belly and his thighs of brass, right? Well, his belly, I'm sorry, his arms, which is the Greeks, and his belly and his thighs of brass, which is Rome, right? And in his legs of iron. His feet, part of clay. I'm sorry, forgive me. Let me go through this again. Let me run this back one more time. Salakia. This image's head was of fine gold, Syrian Babylonian. His breasts and his arms of silver, right? And his belly, thighs of brass, that's the Medo-Persians, right? His legs of iron, which is the Greeks. No, the legs of iron is Rome. Let me jump down. That part right there gets me. Let me get it from down here real quick. Bear with me. Let me jump down a little bit. Here we go. Let me start from verse 40 real quick. Daniel 2 and 40, and it reads, and the fourth kingdom should be strong as iron. Let me see. I don't want to start there either. Here we go. I want to read it from right here, verse 36. This is the dream, and we will tell the interpretation thereof before the king. Thou, O king, art the king of kings, for the power of heaven have given thee a kingdom, power and strength and glory, right? And wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowls of the heaven hath he given into thine hand, and hath made thee ruler over them all. Thou art his head of gold, right? And obviously Daniel was in the Babylonian Empire, right? Right? Check it out. And we know the Babylonians took out the Assyrians. Look it, and after thee shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee, right? And another, which is the Medo-Persians, and another third kingdom of brass, which is the Greeks, right? Which shall bear rule over the earth. And the fourth kingdom, which is Rome, all right, shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh into pieces subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these shall it break in pieces and bruise. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, and this is talking about America, okay? Part is clay and part of iron, right? The kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. And we know this is talking to the revival of the Western Roman Empire, which is America. They're going to be divided, right? They're not going to see eye to eye, right? And there's going to be a division within their regime. Now, what I want to do is I want to jump back up, right, to verse 33. It reads this: his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay. And that's what confused me initially, Salakia, which is, again, that's talking to Rome, and then the feet part of iron, part of clay, talking about what? The America, man, them toes and feet, which is the NATO and the EU. Verse 34 is the point, as far as what I want to get. Look it, thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay, and break them to pieces, bro. Okay, that stone that was cut without hands, that's Yahweh Shai, man. When he comes through, this shit's over, bro. He's coming to smash those toes and feet. Okay? Then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together, and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floor. And the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth, bro. Okay? And that great mountain, you can read about it in Isaiah the 2nd chapter, bro. All right? When Zion set up on high, Israel, bro, upon the return of our Lord Yahweh Shai. But Yahweh Shai's got to come first and take this nigga Esau out. Okay, this is the divine intervention. This is the divine visitation that's going to take place upon Esau, man. Isaiah 47. The Lord's not going to meet this nigga as a man. All right? It's going to, hey, what the scripture say in Revelations? Who could make beasts? Who could make war with the beast, bro? Nobody. That's why this nigga's going around taking everybody's resources and pretty much just bullying everybody, man. All right? See, the global elite use America as their springboard for their wickedness and for their throne is set up over here. Okay? This is where their throne is set up, right here in America, man. This is the hammer of the earth, as scriptures describe in Jeremiah. Okay? But the Lord set a snare up for this place, bro. There's a snare set up for it. Let me go here. See, back in the old days, man, Esau could be doing what he's doing right now. You know, cats in league with him, you know, the NATO and the EU, they'll be applauding him. You know, other nations will still be in fear of him. No other nation will be trying to join the nation he's trying to come at to help them. None of that will be happening. But all that's happening nowadays because Esau is losing his power. He's being removed from the power seat. Isaiah 47, right? There's about to be no more throne for this guy. Let's go here. The book of Jeremiah. Him trying to flex on Venezuela like he's doing something significant is truly making him look weak. You see, all his plans are backfiring. Jeremiah, the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50. And the Lord's so cold, the Lord's going to take Esau out of power the same way Esau came into power. All right, that's why there's constant tensions and talks and highlights of war. Okay, because that's what it's going to ultimately spill over to, the third world's woe, as it tells us in Revelations, bro. All right, the second woe had passed and the third woe coming quickly, bro. The Lord's going to take Esau out the same way he came in. Jeremiah 50 and 22. A sound of battle is in the land and of great destruction. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? When you read Revelation 17, okay, it tells you that the beast shall hate the whore. When you read Obadiah 1 and 7, it tells us that those that were at peace with her have deceived her. Okay? Ultimately, America's allies are going to come up against them, and their enemies in the form of the BRICS nations, Russia leading that charge, are going to shoot a conglomerate amount of missiles, bro, on this place, man. That's going to literally reshape the landmass. Okay? The earth is going to increase in size after the Lord's done with Esau's visitation, bro. All right? Look at verse 24, Jeremiah 15:24. I have laid a snare for thee. A snare is a trap. And thou art also taken, O Babylon. So Babylon is going to be taken by this snare. You know, so all these various power moves that they think they're making, this persecution they think they're going to pursue, okay? This diabolical move as far as C-hipping everybody and bringing forth a technocracy, all right? Where you live in a 15-minute city, all right, eating synthetic meat, bugs, and it's just living like a complete slave to the system. This diabolical dream they have, guess what? It's not going to come to pass. Look it. Babylon, and thou was, look it, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware. Okay? Why? Because pride has deceived them. Thou art found and also caught. 2 Thessalonians. All right, the 2nd chapter. This nigga's been revealed in his time. Okay? You hear Clayton talking about he's woke now. All right, and there's levels to being woke. You know, there's surface level woke. But it's enough to distinguish how Esau's moving. You know? But he's still asleep. But needless to say, continuing on, right? Thou art found and also caught because thou hast striven against the Lord, man. Okay? So guess what, Esau? You ain't hiding no more, bro. You're not in the dark corners in the cut in these think tanks, you know, thinking that you're thinking that nobody knows that you're the source of the problem. No, the world knows that you're the source of the problem, bro. The talk of the town is international banking family, man. All right? the powers that be, you know, in these various articles, they'll code it, you know, because they can't say it because they got a gaggle on them. Say we don't got a gaggle on us. Let me go here real quick. And yeah, man, hey, this is beautiful, man. This is all a build up to the end of Esau and to the beginning of Jacob. All right, what we're witnessing right now. This is the countdown. The countdown is on. We just counting down through the spirit. Let me hit the comment, boy. I'm going to fly. God, I'll get this from the brother. Yeah, what's up? All right, this is the book of Psalms 35 and verse 8 from the beloved brother Yawasap, hopeful elect 777. Again, Shalom, Mak, Yahweh, Shemir, Shai, Barakatah. All right, we'll get this and close out through the spirit. All right, Psalms 35 and 8, and it reads, let destruction come upon him at unawares, and let his net that he hath hid catch himself. Into that very destruction, let him fall. Beautiful, brother. And ultimately, that's Esau's fate. You see, Esau's been going around the earth, you know, lying, you know, deceiving, breaking treaties, stealing. Okay. What scripture says? Sirach 10, because of unrighteous dealing. We'll close out with that as a matter of fact. Everything's backfiring on him, man. You see, you can't go around the earth doing all this dirt and think you're going to be okay. Nah, man, there comes a time where your shit catches up with you. We'll leave it here. Sirach 10, the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as the book of Sirach, chapter 10 and verse 8, and it reads, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, and Esau's guilty on all three of those charges, man. All right, we'll be here for hours going into each one and explicitly explaining how and why. All right? Literally, he's in violation of all three of those charges, bro. Because of unrighteous dealings, Okay? He's broke every treaty with God. All right? He's went around the world lying. Okay? Look at injuries, right? And riches gotten by deceit, bro. And we're witnessing another process of him doing that with this whole Venezuela situation. He dressed up old boy as the boogeyman. All right, and the people for that matter too, talking about the drug traffickers, the cartel, all this other crazy shit. But the goal is to get that resource in there. Just like Afghanistan, the goal was to get that gold that was in there. And the various resources that was there as well. The oils that was there too. You see? Same playbook. Esau's he's executing out of the same playbook. All right, look at the kingdom. Because of all these things, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. And guess who that people is? No, it's not Russia. No, it's not China. No, it's not the Hamites. It's not Africa. Okay? No, it's not Elam. No, not Ishmael either. We'll tell you who it is, matter of fact, and we'll close out. Right? For you new listeners, this is who the kingdom's going to get translated to. The book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 6, and verse 9, and it reads, "For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth," man. All right, the world talking to an eon, which is a space of time. Okay? We're in Esau's world right now, but guess what? It's crashing down around them. All right, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that want to be joined with them, guess what? You're going to crash down with them. Because this man's coming to a rapid close. You see, and we're witnessing it, man. Esau's been made a laughingstock on the world stage. Okay? Nations that were once inferior to this dude, right, are looking at him like, yo, this dude's these people are bozos, bro. Okay? As they join themselves unto Russia and other superpowers, man. Not have to worry about Babylon, which fulfills Joel, right? Let the weak say I'm strong. You see, prophecy, man, prophecy, at the end of the day, prophecy, brothers and sisters, Akim and Akwaf, we're going to win. Why? Because we're standing on prophecy. You see, which is Yahushai. He's our foundation. All right? We're not going to be led astray. We're not going to be confounded. Right? We're not going to be perplexed. No, man, because prophecy is pinpoint accurate. You know? If you've been given the eyes to see, and the ears to hear. But yeah, beloved Akim and Akwaf, Lord willing, you were edified through the spirit and power, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Abaratazah. You know, you were spiritually fed and informed through our power, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Hey, Esau's falling, and he's falling fast. You know, all we gotta do is keep chanting this place down, keep putting up the curses. You know, stay faithful, stay prayed up, stay in the position where, you know, you don't doubt the power that gave you this beautiful truth, man. You know, because, you know, we can have bad days, but some days are better than others. But never, don't ever negate the reality of the prophecies, man. See, at the end of the day, the Lord, they're gonna come to pass. The Lord don't lie, bro. The Lord don't lie. We can stand on it. We can stand on what's written. You see, we're gonna win. We just gotta stay locked in, stay watching. You know, I'm going to leave it there, beloved Akim and Akwaf. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash. A double honors to the beloved elders and apostles of Great Millstone, where I learned this 144% truth. Hey, Shalom, beloved Akim and Akwaf. Hey, Shalom.